Hey everyone, I just wanted to do a follow-up video on the time lapse and the other one I posted about just the kind of explanation of the stove. We just wanted to point out a couple other things and just thoughts on how to build these things, make it a little bit easier hopefully for other people to try to figure out some kind of stove that they want to make. But this is kind of what the stove is based on here. It's basically this was a tube I made, kind of based on the idea of the soup can gasifier heater. So this I made out of some 6 and 8 inch pipe, and I put some holes on this inside tube here and then on the outside one. So as this thing heats up, it actually starts to create a draft that wants to pull the smoke through these inside holes, and then it'll let fresh air through these outer ones, and then it comes out through another set of holes up inside here that are on this inside tube at about this height. So the idea is that when the smoke gets pulled through the inside and the fresh air comes in the outside one, it comes up here. This is getting hot, so it wants to pull through there, and it hits the top of this washer kind of piece on here, and then the smoke and basically fire, once it gets hot enough, shoots through to the inside tube, and then it burns all that smoke up, and it's a lot cleaner burn, and you get a lot more heat off a little bit of wood. So I'm actually gonna fire up this thing, and then I'm gonna explain a little more about the other one and show you how it's burning a little bit better. So I just got some small cardboard and then some little pieces. This is really good stuff for the small burner here. These small pieces burn a lot nicer in a small stove like this, but it just wasn't going to be enough to heat my shop, but I got the idea kind of going. I'm going to drop all these wedges in, a little bit bigger fuel in here. Let's see if we can see what's going on in here. I got some little bit smaller pieces here that I'm going to put on the top. Gotta get that going. Get that bigger stuff going a little bit nicer. So it's already burning. Looks like it's burning pretty nice already. That cardboard burns up pretty quick, so it'll die down in a second here. But so you can see it's working pretty good already. It's burning up. It's not really doing what it does to gasify. Well, although it is letting, I got some other holes in here that let fresh air, and that's going to help it light up a little bit nicer. But eventually it's going to suck the smoke from the bottom and then burn kind of in reverse. But you're still going to get a nice flame coming out of the top here. So let that light up for a little bit here, and then show you the other one. So this thing's been going for a bit here. It's probably pretty hard to see the probe on the other video. I'm hoping that shows up a little bit better on this one. But the top's still right around 500 degrees. Hopefully you can kind of see that. But I'll show you what I got burning in there, which is not much at this point, but it's a nice coal bed, so it's definitely throwing some nice heat off. I got a candle sitting over here, and it's probably 3 feet away from it. You can see that's pretty much liquefied on the one side here. And the thermometer is reading about 90 degrees or so. I should have checked outside. It's warming up a bit here, but it's probably still in the 30s outside right now. But I'm just burning up some of these skid boards, some skids or pallets, I guess, or whatever you call them. But you can find these a lot of times. Companies are trying to get rid of them. So I didn't explain exactly on the damper before. So there's a big flap on the inside of the smaller, there's a smaller tube inside here, and then this shuts that off and makes the fire go through the holes in the bottom of the inside tube, and then between these two layers, and then actually at about this height, there's a block or a washer that stops the flow between there, kind of like on the other one, except it's encased inside these barrels or whatever, because I gotta get the smoke out. So when I turn that damper, then it forces it between the two outside layers, and then hopefully when it hits these holes up here, the smoke and gas mix together and then kind of start back on fire, and there's an afterburn effect. And then also it has the tube like a rocket stove that goes about 2 inches from the top here to kind of create another. So I'm thinking that it's gonna work pretty well for getting all that smoke to burn up. Usually when it's at this point, when it's down to coals, there's really hardly any smoke. Yeah, my light's probably not bright enough to see. But it doesn't look like there's hardly any smoke coming out of there. So, but on the initial startup, you're gonna get a decent amount of smoke coming out, no matter what kind of stove you got, I think. So I'm gonna bring these coals back to knock some of this ash through here so you get some fresh air in the front side. So that's really throwing up a lot of nice heat now that I stirred that up. And what's nice about this is you can, if you are salvaging some of these old pallets or even cutting your own wood, this thing will easily fit a 4-foot pallet. I didn't measure the depth on it, but it's getting close to probably a 6-foot piece that you can get in there. And you can really stoke it. It's really not that cold out right now, so I don't need to put a lot in here. Kind of running out of time for cold weather, which is good. I'm glad for that. But I just thought I'd kind of show everyone how it works and get some ideas here before spring hits. But you can see how hot that is just by how quick those lit up. I mean, it's some really dry hardwood, but that stuff lit instantly and it looks like it's really burning up great. But just to kind of show you the amount of heat this thing can throw off, I'll run it open for a little bit and then we'll go take a peek at that other stove we got burning outside. So we're at about .90 degrees in here. And it's 7 minutes after 1 in the morning. It is smoking pretty bad. Maybe I'll just open it up this way. So it looks like this thing lit up pretty nice here. Yeah, I don't know if you can see that. Yeah, it's gonna be hard for me to show you without burning my camera up. But it's working pretty well. I can see inside there's like little jets where the fire is coming out. But that was just a real little bit of wood that I put in there. It's about 900 degrees off a couple little pieces of cedar cut-offs. So that'd be it. That's another nice little stove that someone could make up fairly easy. That's just made out of some 6 and 8 inch stove pipe. The hardest part would be cutting that little flange at the two where the connection is there. But you, I have a plasma cutter that I cut them out with, so that made it a lot easier for me. I could put it together pretty quick, but a person could just cut the pipe back and cut some slots in it to make that, to fill up that gap, and bend it over to make the 6 inch fit tight on the, or the 8 inch I should say, fit tight on the 6 inch there. Yeah, only getting a couple degrees, but I was only outside for 4 minutes here. But it's definitely climbing. So I think it's plenty hot to bring this back, slow that down a bit. So yeah, that's pretty much it. But it's working awesome. It's throwing off just an immense amount of heat. You can see the fire in there. It's definitely burning that smoke up nicely. About 740 degrees on the top of the stove here. Eventually I'm gonna encase this I'm gonna put some supports on there, and then build some stone around it and fill the sander on there just for safety. But it's pretty hot. Yeah, there's probably 11-foot tall ceilings in here, and it's about it's almost 80 degrees over here. So no, it's not too bad. So 58. And we're at about 27 outside here.